Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, name, major,
Yeah.
where you're from, a little bit of background about yourself, interesting facts, extracurriculars you might do, or hobbies you might have?
Yeah, can you just ask them like one by one?
Okay, cool. Name and major and where you're from.
Okay, my name's Alessandro. I study in Milan, Bocconi, in Italy, but I was born and raised in London, and yeah, it's quite a.
What do you study there?
I study economics and finance, so nothing to do with CS.
And are you part of like any organization, or if you have any hobbies outside of school?
So the hobbies, like I love sports, but more than that, I'm very passionate about motorsports, and ever since I've grown up, that's been my life, and so like racing is always followed up with me. So that would be my passion.
So do you race on the side outside of school?
Yeah. So ever since like I was 13, I've had to just manage school and university and work with the racing, and racing's always been the first priority. So for me, like, yeah, it's been a really tough time to just manage it, but it's taught me a lot in the way like I have to like keep both as important as each other.
Okay, and so what kind of motivated you to, clearly you're passionate about racing, but what motivated you to kind of add this computer science aspect to your life, given you're not studying that academically? So
racing has, the goal of racing is to try and be the best driver and to always be in a race seat. But there is just a definite end to your racing career, and the end goal is very uncertain, and what you're trying to achieve in life is like it's very vague, and that's really where tech came in. And I've always been passionate about technology and like I've always been passionate about technology, and it's just it has more of a meaning. There is more of an end goal, and I wanted to build something of value, and the best means that I could do that with is technology itself, and in particular coding and programming. And so really that's where like my focus turned to, what do I really want to do when I'm older? And I want to create something that's bigger than just being another athlete. And it's hard to bring value to the world when you're just one of many, unless you are like the greatest of the greats. And with technology, it's a much more viable process, and I was getting bored. My mind wasn't being used, and yeah, again, technology is just the way that everything just seemed to like fit in place, and it just went with what I liked as well.
So what? I'm going to go back to the racing a little bit, and then come back with the technology.
Yeah.
What races have you been able to take part in, just so that some of the...
So I've moved up from the rankings ever since a little kid, and I started in go-karts. At 15, I moved to Formula Renault Eurocup, and then I moved into GT racing. At which point I was racing for Audi in 2014. We raced in the GT1 World Championship, and then the year after that, I did some races in America, and I just did various sports car races, and I kind of switched between single-seaters and sports cars, but mainly focusing on sports cars. And really the biggest races that like I've been like fortunate enough to be a part of were like the races like Le Mans, Daytona 24 Hours, and they've been, yeah, it's really just given me a tool set for life that's like, just beyond the racing. It's also really prepared me in certain ways. It's led me to grow up much faster than like usual.
So now, being part of that world, you don't see many people kind of moving over. And so what shift in your racing world have you seen that's been a result of technology? So unfortunately,
my university and also just in general the timing right now is it's led for my racing career to be put on hold slightly. I'm fortunate enough to still be driving in race cars and just testing for separate manufacturers. So I can still race in the meantime, but racing is less of a priority, and now it's just really just trying to get projects built and really like go from there and try and...
But how has technology kind of shifted that world, as in the sense of like computer science?
Oh, how has technology shifted racing? Racing?
Yeah, like Airbnb disrupted the housing, hotel.
So you're saying like how has technology like changed the way racing?
How is it changing, or how do you?
So it's funny because like racing has a huge part of technology. In fact, like I would say technology goes into racing before it goes into road cars. And the cool thing about it is I've been always involved in like developing cars for manufacturers, and you just see this radical transformation in having these components being built for the race car, and then you go and test them, you wear them down, you break them, much like you would do a user test in technology. And then once it's proven to be successful, you will then translate that onto the road cars. And technology is a massive part of racing. It's everywhere. It's from the data logging systems to the way the car even functions, and without it we wouldn't have motorsport the way we see it now.
Gotcha. And so you have that as your hobby. You have your academics there as well, finance and forget the other one. But that's culminating now with your Horizons computer science background.
Yeah.
What do you foresee being able to kind of do either when you go back to school or if and when you go back to racing?
So finance is not something I particularly enjoy that much. But I very much see the need to understand finance in terms of it's good to appreciate the economic model of the world. And so with that, and you combine technology with the business aspect of it, you really have a powerful tool set to go and build things of value. And really that's where I see the two merging together nicely, and me finishing my degree will just help the business side of things. And the technology side, it's very much a self-learning thing afterwards, and yeah, I'll just be able to like pick up what I need and then move forward with the business side of it at uni.
Gotcha. So what expectations did you come in with? Actually, let me ask, how did you find out about Horizons?
So I found out about Horizons through family friends. It's very hard to have access to Horizons in Europe just because it's very much marketed towards the US. But I was extremely lucky to have found it. I was like almost like slightly a little bit of a blessing in terms of like it wouldn't have never happened otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. And what expectations did you have of Horizons, positive or negative fears?
So I always had good expectations for the program. It's marketed very well, but I would say its marketing doesn't do it justice. It's exceeded my expectations, like beyond, let's say, that gap of like, there's plus or minus this, and it's exceeded that as well. And I've really come in with not knowing a single thing about code to now being able to, develop software like full stack, like back end, and really good with front end, and you really you pick up a tool set that you can now, okay, I can go into any level of like software and just pick it up because you've just been given that right frame of thinking. And that's what Horizons teaches most of all. It's just to be able to think, as a software engineer, but it goes above and beyond that like a normal like boot camp would be in terms of it actually also makes you think about the product and the business and the idea. And really, it's just about having both of those tools, and you go in with nothing, and you come out with just, I can build now, and that's just invaluable.